So hey Ricky, here we're at IDF together, and obviously at Wind River's booth itself. And as we've been walking around, and there's a number of us, technology partners that all of us have been working together to drive some very comprehensive joint solutions. But one of the number one things I've been hearing in regards is, what can be done to kind of facilitate adoption of SDN. I'm kind of curious about Wind River's position on that. What actually Wind River can do to help customers actually adopt or facilitate their movement toward adopting technologies such as software-defined networking.
Really good question, and really, I mean, that's what we're here for. We've got a reference platform approach which we're taking to SDN, working with a number of partners. And really, this reference platform is to drive adoption of SDN. There's a lot of challenges in picking up and driving a new industry, moving it forward. And we're demonstrating putting this virtual platform together with Intel and some of our partners, such as Riverbed and Brocade and Cosmos, and kind of like using that and driving it, showing how we can integrate these. Here we're showing a demonstration of a service chain. So actually looking at a real type of scenario that would exist in the real world, building that on a reference platform, and what we're taking is we're taking the Brocade solution and we're actually migrating that virtual machine platform to platform and then moving the traffic with it, almost in real time, I would say. So this is something that's absolutely needed to see that wider adoption of SDN, and that's what Wind River and Intel and our partners are about.
Perfect. Now I really look forward to working with you more in the future here. So why don't we actually let's see these actual demonstrations. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty excited to actually see them.
Okay, thanks.
What we're doing here is trying to take things that were previously external appliances that are residing before the data center, bringing them in and virtualizing them in the data center, and dealing with how to chain these together, still get the same effect as if we had directly connected devices in a service chain, but being able to deploy them anywhere in the network, being able to deploy virtual machines on one side of the data center to the other and still have them appear as a single entity in a single chain. So what we've got here is a demo with all of these, deliberately not showing right now where things are running, because theoretically they could run anywhere in the data center. The real important part of service chaining versus what we're doing in OpenStack and Open Daylight is to create this view of, here's the chain, make everything look like it's directly connected when it's really not. OpenStack's view and Open Daylight's view is going to be of the network as a whole, including the hardware, including all the switches. OpenStack's view of this is going to be as a set of virtual machines that's completely unaware of the service chain itself. It doesn't know that these 6 virtual machines, for instance, we have are really a part of a service chain. We've actually gone and detached them from the networking, so OpenStack won't try to do anything with the networking. Similarly, Open Daylight has a view of the switches, but not of the chain itself. There's a lot of things coming, such as work in Open Daylight to incorporate service chaining so that at some point we'll be able to say to Open Daylight, create a service chain, let Open Daylight manage that service chain. Today that's not there, and that's kind of what we're doing here outside of Open Daylight, is to create the service chain view. And also associated with that service chain view is the traffic flow and the policies of which traffic nodes to go. It's not all traffic like you can do in a physical network. I want a certain portion of traffic to go through this chain, say for a given tenant, and I might have a different chain for a different tenant. We also have the ability with one of our components, and we've embedded in the DPDK vSwitch, is to do layers 4 through layer 7 with the Cosmos, to make a decision in there. If we took one type of traffic and said, let's do a bypass of that traffic if it's video, but everything else needs to go through the IPS. And we put that really between Brocade's router and the McAfee, and make that decision to bypass McAfee and go to the riverbeds if it's a video connection. And then we've also targeted traffic. You can see these alternate flows on the GUI, or on our GUI, for doing that. The other part of this is that in the traditional data center, you just move workloads around, and the network, you can use the normal networking to find the VM. It has an IP address, it just changed where it is in the network, and the network really converges towards it. With the service chain, we actually have to move the virtual machine, but we have to move the entire chain and still keep it looking like there's a single direct connection between 2 elements in the service chain. So when we move, for instance, the Brocade router, which is what we are demonstrating in our demo, when we move that to the other server, we actually have to take all of the flows that we had configured, and they have to be reconfigured to go through to go through the different path, and do that as quickly as possible so that the migration and the reconvergence of the chain is done fairly quickly.